Hello and good evening. My name is John. We're here playing England Exchange as part of my Steam cleaning series with every game in my Steam library. Eventually, then arbitrarily rate and or review them at to playtime. I dateable characters naked all the time. What? Okay. Part of my Steam cleaning series with every game in my Steam library. Eventually, then arbitrarily rate and or review them at to playtime. I don't quite know what this game is. This game's out at random. This game was released in May of 2017 by Hanabira and Hanko Games. Sure, we'll play as Malia. Boop. Jinso. Tomorrow we're leaving for England. Let's have a moment of silence for our fallen comrade. Fallen comrade? Malia is going across the ocean, not dying. That's what you think. Haha, cheers. We clicked our glasses together, of course. Jinsu was the only one old enough to drink. Nini and I couldn't even walk into most bars. How strict ID checks have gotten. At least in casual dining, the waiters generally only carded the person who ordered the drink. Jimsu pounded his chest as his fireball lemonade went down. Oh, big guy. Pwah! You'll be able to drink once you're over there too. You should try it. He winked at me. Maybe. I have tasted one or two things in my life, but since I'm not supposed to be drinking at all, I've definitely never been drunk. Yes, no one has ever drank underage. I don't know if getting smashed at bars is the kind of adventure I want. So what adventure do you want? I swirled my non-alcoholic, non-fiery lemonade list. Wow, lemonade's popular. To be honest, I hadn't thought about it as much. In the rush to pack and get all my documents in order after New Year's, I had been able to ignore what the preparation was for. I made the decision to travel abroad to England for a semester on impulse. The spur of the moment. It sounded like fun, that was all. I don't know what I want to do in my life. Why would you go to England? I felt like I barely knew who I was, to be honest. The idea to take a semester abroad wasn't a new one. It was almost cliche tactic for broadening one's horizons. But I really did want to discover myself. Even more than that, I wanted to change myself. I knew that sometimes I could be far too shy. I've never had a serious romantic relationship, never been kissed behind a tiny little peck. I couldn't approach strangers, even ask for directions. And when it comes to pressure, I don't know. Kate. That's so like you. You spent half a year of your life on this trip. Shouldn't you have a goal in mind? Not everyone has to have a goal. They could just go with the flow. End up like you? No, she's better than that. The two glared at each other, their year-long rivalry coming to a boil. Guys, please. Oh, speaking of goals, when are you going to get yourself a boyfriend? Oh, here we go again. I don't need one. I've had one I have my whole life to figure out. I don't have time to waste on some dumb boy or girl. Right, or girl, whichever. I don't need someone to make my life complete. But wouldn't it be nice? It would be nice, wouldn't it? Maybe. If the right person comes along, until then I got other things to do. No. You can't just wait. You gotta go out there and find them. You don't even give the guy in front of you a chance. Or girls. Well then, I don't have to explain myself to you. I turned my head as Nini fumed. Is it Nen? Nine? Neen? I'm going to say Nini. Don't you do that to me. Whoa. It's her last day in the States, and I want her to live to reach the airport. I just can't wait to watch her eat her words. She sat back in her chair, and Jinsu grinned at me. It's the perfect time to experiment anyway. Do people really think of their friends in their full name? What did you say, Jin? I don't sit down and go, my friend first name, last name is here. Not often, at least. You're there for a whole semester, and then you're gone. So, if it turns out you don't like girls, you'll never to see her again. No lingering awkwardness. It's oddly specific. I know you look for adventure, but other people are the best adventure I ever get. So why not? What's the worst that could happen? What was the worst that could happen? Getting arrested? Getting pregnant, I guess? Then deported and banned from entering England ever again? Probably. But even then, at least it would be a clean break. No matter how big New York City was, you always seemed to run into exactly who you wanted to at least want to see. But in England, not to mention, they really have some nice accents. Maybe okay. How's that? I'll give you maybe. Nene and Jinso. You keep saying Jinso for that friend, but Nene gets a high five, and I wonder how long they've been planning this attack. Be sure to tell me everything about him. Or her. Okay. Far too soon the night ended. I rode the subway back to Bronx and went home. The last time I would be home for nearly half a year. Waking up at 6 was tomorrow. 8 hours of flying was tomorrow. England was tomorrow. And maybe even a new me was tomorrow. What the heck have I got myself into? Sighing, I tried to distance myself from my thoughts. England, huh? Let's hope something changes. It's a really bold, expensive move to... Oh, okay. I got off the airplane immediately feeling disoriented. I was in another country. To be honest, it didn't look much different from the U.S. Yeah, we're pretty similar. It's a little less crowded than JFK, but the architecture at Heathrow Airport felt a lot like home. The only real difference was the accents. I expected everyone to sound like BBC announcements, but there was such a mix. From Scottish custom agents to newspaper seller who I think was Jamaican or something. It really brought me home how much England was part of Europe. People came here from everywhere. This is before Brexit, apparently. Whatever. I made my way through the customs and out into the London air. It was cloudy, as I was supposed to expect from now on, and the January winds were chilly. There was no snow on the streets. I had been warned that it almost never snowed in London, unlike New York City. It did look damp, though, and gray, very gray. I waited for a cab stop for a driver to be free. He threw my suitcase into his trunk, and we were off. It's called the boot. If you're in England, it's in the boot. On the wrong side of the road. No, it's the correct side of the road for London. To distract myself from my sense of impending doom, I envisioned the hotel I'd be staying at. You're staying at a hotel for 6 months? I'd be doing a work, study, travel kind of program. The hostel provided my room and partial board, as well as part-time job from which they kept a share of the pay. It's all connected to the local university through some kind of deal, so I could take classes there. The program wasn't free, but because of the work portion, it actually came out cheaper than a semester of normal classes back at NYC would be. As long as I didn't flunk out and get sent home, my parents would be happy. It was a cramped, quiet ride through the streets. It didn't take long until we were surrounded by tall, older-looking buildings made of stone. Different styles of architecture mingled with one another, highly modernized buildings next to grandiose structures that looked like they had housed nobility in the better days. Hordes of Londoners with grim expression pushed their way through the streets. I had heard the British were more polite and well-mannered than us. Wow. Less likely to show their emotions, more intelligent. More intelligent? What? Better in every way, basically, but London just looked like a slightly prettier New York. There's a lot of biases being thrown out here. America, as I knew it, mostly came from England only a few hundred years ago. Surely the cultural differences were that big of a deal. They wouldn't think of me as just a dumb American, would they? Before I could ponder this much, the cab came to a sudden halt. The one. The cab driver got out, grabbed my bags, but not before pointing to the machine in the back of the seat in front of me to run my card through it. I swiped one. Approval denied. What? Maybe the card didn't work here. Trying to call my rising panic, grabbed another card and ran it through. Card read error. You gotta be kidding me. I don't have any other cards. The cab was standing outside the hostel with my bags, tapping a foot patiently. I cried out of the car and ducked in my carry-on. Trembling, I held out 4 $20 bills, American bills. What? I can't accept foreign currency. I'm sorry, but my cards aren't working. Did you tell your bank you're going to the country? Is that something you have to do? You stupid Americans. Whoa, calm down there. Guy. Oh, jeez. Does not look British to me. I don't know. A man with dark brown hair and a kind face appeared in front of me, having just come from the hostel entrance. What seems the problem here? He glanced at the money in my hands and nodded. Hand me your dollars, I'll cover your fare. Fine. As long as someone pays, I don't care who. The cabbie showed him the card machine and bent down to pay. Thank you. Through my terror, began to stutter, but the man just waved his hand. Don't worry about it. You aren't the first person this happened to. I'm not, thank goodness. Well, most people are smarter than to take a cab they can't pay for, but you know. Yeah. He finished paying, and the cabbie jumped into his car, slammed the door, and revved off down the street. I'm Danny, by the way. You must be one of the new arrivals. Yes, I'm Malia. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet him indeed. I'll grab your bags. Why don't you come in? I can show you around. Thanks. The outside of the one hostel seemed almost promising. It was a medium-sized 2-floor building, and a small yard leading up to the front door was fairly well maintained. Danny hoisted my suitcase and pushed to the front door of my new home. I followed behind him. Welcome home. The front room was kind of a small entryway with 2 doors leading to either side. Me a staircase out of sight. The walls were not as clean as I would have liked. The walls were not. Oh, I can see. Yeah, there's a lot of stains. The small desk sat near the doorway where Danny clicked up my suitcase and reached for some paperwork. Let's see. Malia. Here you are. Looks like you've been assigned to work as a maid. All the rest of your... You just assigned her a job? All the rest of your board and lodging seem to be sorted. Well, I'll give you a quick run through the house rule, shall I? There are 7 of us at the moment who board here regularly and a couple extra rooms for overnight short-term lets. But they're not used often. So with you here, there'll be 8 of us total, provided James hasn't hidden someone in the attic like that old novel. He laughed, but I stared at him confused. Just laugh. I wasn't sure what to do, but it seemed like telling a joke, so ha. Hope that doesn't sound fake. What's this music? Anyway, we have a kitchen and a cafeteria. Wow. The communal food in the fridge, and some people make meals that others can share, and we eat together. I don't think anyone announces it, though, so you gotta come in on time. Just aim for whenever Ashley's not at work. She loves to cook for us. The living room is a shared space. We all work together to keep things neat and tidy, so clean up after yourself. Don't leave stuff laying about. Also, you're the maid. Quiet time after 10 o'clock. Most of us are students and we need our sleep to keep up with our classes. To be honest, I don't actually know what all the others are here for. There's some girl who I see in the hall sometimes. I haven't even officially met her, but I've not seen her at uni. Don't know what she's doing. Anyway, Peggy and I especially need quiet after hours, no loud music and all that. Not that I guess we staying up late considering what your work schedule will be like. You'll be able to set most things yourself, however, with classes you take, what you'll do with your spare time, extra work shifts, pick up who you befriend. You get to do whatever you want, but be careful too. That means you can't play anyone else if things don't go the way you want them to. Is this like our tutorial guy? He started to sound like a parent lecturing their child on the first day of college, but I bit my tongue. He could continue. Before I continue, a rabbit-scuffing man came to the front door behind me. Ugh. Coffee stains, at least helper coffee stains, dotted his shirt, and I swear there was breadcrumbs in the corner of his mouth. He looked from me to Danny, nodded, and started climbing upstairs. That's James. He doesn't like having much to do with us, to be honest, so give him space. Try not to get on his bad side. I nodded. What is there to do for fun around here? Anything particular I should see or do? Put a hand on his chin. Well, what do you want to do? What do you want to get out of this trip here? You can study hard and get ahead, or you can go out partying every night and get trashed. We'll remember. But unless you add us on social media, no one back home will know. We won't be able to tag you in pictures. What? Oddly specific. Good thing I stay away from that sort of thing. I guess you could check out the stereotypical landmarks, the monument, the eye, and Big Ben and all that, but I'm going to just wander around the city. With a day travel card, you can go everywhere you like. London's crammed full of sights most tourists miss because they're too busy trying to make the Queen's Guards laugh. Oh, I have a soccer team here that I run with the school. You can come try out and see if there's a thing you want to do. Soccer tryouts? I mean, I never really did sports at home. They weren't my style, but maybe now is a good time to change that. Yeah, you're completely in your mid-20s is the perfect time to pick up a new physical hobby. It definitely would mean I get more time hanging out with Danny. Suddenly it was this distant, dull, thudding noise. Then the door to my right flew open. Oh, here comes Angelo. A short, sullen young man entered his room and stood staring at me. He's not that much shorter than Danny. Who are you? This is your new partner, Amalia. You'll be working together, remember? Oh, you. Angelo's one of our maids. I'm not a maid, I'm a housekeeper. Look, it's not normal for me to be doing this kind of work. It was a misunderstanding, capiche? They thought my name was Angela, not Angelo, so they assigned me as a... Wow, so it's sexist too? Surely assignments were random. England wasn't medieval. There was no reason only women should work in housekeeping. Was this kid really old enough to be employed in this kind of program? He looked like he might still be in high school and seemed to think like a high school boy too. Well, nice to meet you. I held up my hand to shake, and he looked at it as if it were dirty. Finally he touched my hand only for a moment and let go without giving a shake. Here's hoping we get along, all right? He glared at me and continued to the next room. Don't mind Angelo. He's got a bit of a temper and maybe a bit of a bleeding heart. I don't understand how those are connected. But he's a good guy deep down. And try not to take his views too personally. He's had a strange upbringing, and I think being here will be good for him. Isn't he a little young to be here? Young? No, he's 19. 19? Seriously? Haha. I was surprised too. He has a baby face. Don't mention to him that you thought he was so young, though. He'll get offended. He likes to be manly, that one. Anyway, you probably want to see your room now, don't you? All the rooms upstairs. The door Angelo's went through is the kitchen and dining area. He came out of the living room area. These are always the nicest here, as I'm certain you can guess, seeing how you've already met James, the hostel owner. Oh, James the owner? That guy was the hostel owner? Seriously? Wait, then who are you? Me? Did I not properly introduce myself? I'm Danny, biology student, overall bang-up guy. I don't know if I should be reading this in an accent or not. I wonder if I'm, misrepresenting elements of that. He jammed a thumb into the air in an overwhelming expression of joy. I stared at him blankly and just shrugged it off. I'm just someone who lives here for right now, and I think my room's across the hall from yours, actually. Why is there a kid painting on the wall? Headed up the rickety, creaky staircase into a long and narrow hallway. Doors line the hall on the other side. I could already hear some obnoxious loud foreign music. Foreign music? Come on. I couldn't quite make out the words, but I thought it might be French. Danny noticed my confusion. Look. What's that? That's Mark. You'll probably meet him eventually. He's cute. Cute. Does that mean cute like, oh, what a sweet guy? Or cute like sarcastic cute, like he's actually annoying? Or was Danny gay? Really going deep immediately, huh? One of those things was something I needed to know. What? Not that I was like the big movement, Danny. I was too, pathetic for that, even in England. It'd be nice to know what my options are, though. Huh? Anyway, the rooms on the right, you can get a key and such. Loos are shared, one to every 2 rooms. That's a toilet to you. And there's a shower room at the end of the hall that we all share. It's not too bad, though, because we never run out of hot water, and you can lock the door so people won't run into you. On you. Just make sure you knock before entering. Some people here don't mind leaving the door unlocked. Oh, thanks. put a golden key in my hand and motioned to my bedroom. Well, why don't you do the honors? I nodded and unlocked the door, then, heart thumping, I pushed it open. This is a good flat. They call it, what? No, you got a patio, you got the view of the eye. What month is this? It's January 31. I don't know. My room was small. Came with a laptop. My room was small and dingy. The paint was peeling. No, it's not. Oh, wait, there it is. Yeah. The carpet was faded, and someone had taken permanent marker to the wardrobe door. Oh, there it is. Yeah. But despite that, it managed to look colorful and somewhat inviting. It smelled a little musty, too. I wanted to ask what the last time someone cleaned, but I figured that's exactly what Angelo and I were assigned as maids. Or housekeepers. The balcony view, though, probably made this place count as luxury digs for London. Yeah. I'm sure you're pretty tired and just want to unpack, so I'll let you do that now. If you need me, I'm usually in my room or wandering around the hostel, or I'm not here at all. So if you can't find me, I'm probably gone. You can just ask someone else in that case. Everyone's pretty friendly mostly. A dark look crossed his face, but he shook his head. Anyway, I gotta get back to revising. Life of a scholar, right? Talk to you later. He saluted me and closed the door. I was alone in my slightly chilly room, staring at the suitcase at my feet, all alone in a foreign country. A wave of panic rose in my chest. I started staring at the suitcase, willing it to go away. Deep breaths. You knew this would happen at first. Just take it one step at a time. First things first, unpack. Things are better when you're unpacked because you'll feel more like you're home. At least, I remember reading that somewhere. That in mind, I unzipped my suitcase and had organized my meager wardrobe. What is this? I held up an extremely expensive pair of, shall we say, undergarments. How'd this get in here? Who did this? Because sure it wasn't me who brought Jinsu and Nene. It had to be them. Somehow they conspired to distract me and sneak something into my luggage. This is what they thought I needed as a going away present? Ugh. Stiff in the undergarments. I held up my notes, and at least it was new, and it was made out of some kind of silky. The door flew open. I turned to see a diminutive girl, bright red hair, her foot out as he kicked the door clear off his hinges. Eh? Eh? She looked at me and then what I was holding my hands. I threw it aside at me, feeling my face turn red. I didn't. What are you doing in my room? Your room. This is my room. Your room, but... She leaned out in the hallway, confused look in her face. Oh, bollocks. Sorry, totally my fault. I picked the wrong door. 2 down from the end, they say, and I picked the wrong end. Bit daft of me, wouldn't you say? I'm Peggy, and I'm starting as a student at this term. Isn't that ace? Okay. I'm finally going to be in university, even though I have to wait for the later enrollment sign. Good riddance, too. So absolutely bonks being stuck with my old form? What? I'm finally being in university, even if I had to wait for the later enrollment cycle. All good riddance, too. It was absolutely bonkers being stuck with my old form. Don't know. There was this one girl, Charisse, who would be going out polling every night, and this other girl from Prince Philip should be ruling instead of the Queen because women were inferior men. I mean, can you believe that? And I had to live with that girl for so long. That's why I chose to come here instead of student digs. I just couldn't do that all again in uni. And I couldn't afford to get a flat by myself, so I spent all my money on a Christmas trip to Spain. What? Oh, I'm not a crazy spender, you know. I planned for months to have the trip, and I didn't spend a penny more than I budgeted. Just now I'm skint. Okay, we're getting the lingo in. Got to live in the moment, and that's what they say, eat, drink, and be merry. Anyway, better get out of here. You're very clearly... She eyes slid over to right there and slipped underwear. Busy? I'm not really... Yeah, have a good night then. All right, we're about 19 minutes, and I'm going to put it on skip and see if we get choices. Skip new text as old. Okay. Skip ahead. Oh, geez. Oh, wow. Wait, what? Call my friends back home. Okay. Peggy count. Alright, so there's not a lot of choices. It's nothing. But there are some choices. Okay. This is England Exchange. You know, I don't mind having a Western-focused RPG, or sorry, visual novel, because like so many of them are fantastical or Eastern themed and stuff like that. So having one that's like based in England and with American characters is rare, actually. I should show computing. Okay. Cheers. Not bad.